Palmer Legends Country Club under new management. A villager was struck and killed when he was walking across Highway 301. A villager was sentenced after he was caught urinating in public at the Waterfront Inn. A sex offender living with his parents in the Villages is in jail. One person critically injured in a house fire in the Villages. A landlord in the Villages allegedly torched a tenant's couch during eviction. An unlicensed driver from Mexico was arrested again at Wawa. Costco finally signs the deal with the Villages to build their new store. A convicted rapist from Ohio takes up temporary residence in the Villages. A young resident in the Villages is due in court to answer for the damages to a gate. No holes wins a golf this week. Letters to the editor. This and more coming up. Welcome everybody, and thank you once again for joining us on the Villages News Updated. Let's have some more news. This one here, because of all the visitors coming down and the snowbirds being here and a lot of the new people here that don't know, this is going to be the beginning of the year updates on the rules and regulations of operating the golf carts in the Villages. Let's do this to help people stay safe. With holiday visitors here in large numbers in
Florida's friendliest hometown,
it's a good time for all of us using golf carts here in the Village to be reminded of some rules designed to keep everyone safe. Here are some rules of the road for those operating golf carts in the Villages. Golf cart drivers must possess a valid form of government-issued photographic identification. Drivers under 18 years of age must possess a valid driver's license or learner's driver's license. Learner's driver's license. We should just call it a learner's permit. Drive on neighborhood streets, marked roadside lanes, and multimodal paths. Obey all traffic laws, signs, and signals. Golf carts are subject to Florida's open alcoholic container laws. Speed not to exceed 20 miles per hour. Use hand and turn signals. Yield to automobiles. Come to a full stop at stop signs. Never enter a roundabout in a golf cart. Let me repeat that one. Never enter a roundabout in a golf cart. Now, there are a couple of roundabouts on golf cart trails, so, Golf carts are prohibited from roadways posted with speeds of 35 miles per hour or more. Let me repeat that one. Golf cars are prohibited from roadways with posted speeds of 35 miles per hour or more. And if you imbibe on New Year's Eve, the rules against drinking and driving still apply if you are driving a golf cart. Yes, you will get a DUI, and if you get your license suspended for any reason, anywhere, that also means in the state of Florida, you cannot operate a golf cart legally. I hope we got that out of the way. One person was critically injured after a fire erupted Monday afternoon in the Villages. The fire broke out at about 3 p.m. at 2328 Due West Drive in the village of Lynn Haven. Upon arrival, the Villages Public Safety Department crews encountered heavy flames engulfing the residence. Witnesses on the scene reported that an individual was believed to still be inside the home. Demonstrating exceptional bravery and professionalism, firefighters immediately entered the burning structure to extinguish the fire and conduct a primary search. Amid intense heat and heavy fire conditions, crews located the residents inside and removed them from the home, said Fire Chief Brian Twiss. Emergency medical care was provided on site before the victim was transported in critical condition to a local hospital for advanced treatment. Firefighters worked to bring the blaze under control. The state fire marshal has been called in to investigate the incident, and the cause of the fire remains under investigation. The outstanding efforts of the Villages Public Safety Department firefighters were instrumental in saving a life under extreme challenging circumstances. Their courage and quick action are a testament to their dedication and unwavering commitment to protecting the community, Twist said. The response time was 3 minutes and 37 seconds. Firefighters cleared the scene shortly before 6 p.m. To the people in there, I'm glad you got out safely, and a double thank you to the fire department, because without them, what would you do? Good job, boys. Good job. Okay, let's get back to some more serious village news. A villager caught urinating in a hotel parking lot and blaming it on his prostate problem has been sentenced in court. Richard Dennis Shoemaker, 64, of the village of Glenbrook, pleaded no contest this past week in Sumter County Court to a charge of driving under the influence. He will lose his driver's license for 6 months. He has been placed on probation for 1 year and has been ordered to perform 50 hours of community service. That's an update, I guess. I should have said that. You guys already know about the rest of it. Here we go again. An unlicensed driver from Mexico who had been speeding was arrested after a traffic stop on the historic side of the villages. Philemon Perez Ruiz, 24, of Summerfield, was driving a black Ford pickup truck at a high rate of speed shortly before midnight Saturday on U.S. Highway 27 and 441, according to the arrest report of Lady Lake Police Department. An officer determined that the pickup was traveling at 65 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. During the traffic stop on the historic side of the villages, Perez Ruiz handed the officer a Mexican passport. He said he did not speak English. How did he say that? And admitted he had never been issued a driver's license in the United States. He was arrested on a charge of driving without a license. He was booked at the Lake County Jail and released after posting a whopping $500 bond. Palmer Legends Country Club in the Villages is under new management. The Solomon family has taken over the country club, which still proudly bears the name of the golf legend Arnold Palmer. The Solomons are acquiring the country club ownership from the Strasbourg family, which has been running it for nearly 2 decades. The Solomons are enlarging their culinary footprint in
Florida's friendliest hometown
with the latest country club acquisition. They also operate the Havana, Mallory Hill, Glenview, and Nancy Lopez country clubs, as well as restaurants such as Red Sauce at Lake Sumter Landing, Prima Italian Steakhouse at Brownwood. The Sullivan family also runs a large catering business. Well, I don't care who has what restaurant, as long as they're done right, the prices are kept fair, but here's what seems to be happening. Between the Solomons and the FMK restaurant corporations here, it seems like those two are taking over the majority of all the restaurants around here, and the prices keep going up and up and up, and it doesn't have anything to do with prices of food. I think it has to do with because the rents are going up and things like that. I wish they'd get more people in here to have more competition with food and the prices, and we just don't seem to do that. But remember I said, this is a good old boy system. Somebody here might owe somebody a favor. Here's another story that pertains to the takeover of the Palmer's Legends Country Club. The Sullivan family will likely have a cleanup mission at hand as they assume full control of the restaurant at Palmer Legends Country Club in the Villages. This past Thursday, an inspector visited the country club and found 6 high-priority violations. The inspection took place as news was coming to light about the transition of the ownership of the restaurant at Palmer Legends Country Club. The inspector found the following high-priority violations according to a report on file with the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation. An employee failed to wash their hands before putting on gloves to initiate a task of working with food. Steak was found stored over butter, in violation of the safety rule about not storing raw meat over ready-to-eat food. A drain behind the bar was backing up onto the floor underneath the hand-washing sink. Food that should have been stored at 41 degrees was found at unsafe temperatures, including clarified butter at 46 degrees, potato salad at 47 degrees, cut cabbage at 50 degrees, and blue cheese at 58 degrees. Employees said the warmer temperatures resulted from the door to the walk-in cooler being left open while a truck delivery had taken place an hour earlier. At the other end of the spectrum, the inspector found sauteed mushrooms, which should have been at 135 degrees instead of 124 degrees. A toxic substance was improperly stored. The report noted it was a repeat violation. Other violations included an open dumpster, disrepair in the plumbing system, and the menu did not offer a warning about seared tuna with regard to being raw or undercooked animal foods. An inspector had been there in November and found numerous violations during that visit, including food at unsafe temperatures, a problem with the plumbing system, and a dead roach on the floor. The inspector also ordered that 1-pound can of crab meat be discarded as there was a problem with the improper storage of toxic chemicals. There were also violations found during an inspection in July, including tuna, lobster, crab cakes, feta cheese, and blue cheese at unsafe temperatures. Damn. I don't know anything about restaurants, buying or selling them or whatever, but wouldn't you think that the Solomon family, if they were buying this restaurant, wouldn't you think that they'd have had an inspection done before they actually put their name on the paper? Just thinking out loud, that's all I'm doing. A sex offender living with his parents in the Villages has been jailed after violating his probation. Daniel Joseph Hansen, 34, who lives at 2151 K. Lee Drive in the village of Ashland, was arrested this past week by Sumter County Sheriff's deputies on a Marion County warrant charging him with violating his probation. Earlier this year, Hansen, who also goes by the alias Daniel Joseph Hansex, had been placed on probation for 5 years. His conviction is the result of a 2022 law enforcement sting operation in which a detective posed as a 37-year-old uncle offering up his 14-year-old niece for sex, according to the arrest report from the Marion County Sheriff's Office. A meeting was set up at a Waffle House restaurant in Ocala. Deputies found Hansen's tan Toyota Tacoma driving in circles around the Waffle House. He was apparently looking for the vehicle that had been described as part of the meeting. A traffic stop was initiated in the parking lot by a nearby McDonald's. Hansen was in possession of condoms and an orange soda. The detective posing as the uncle told Hansen the 14-year-old liked orange soda. Maybe it's just me. I get so sick of these things and some of these dumbass people that live here. If you know this, and this is your son, and you live in a retirement community where people's grandchildren come down here, why are you letting him be some kind of a predator in our community, hibernating in your cave? There's more to this story. I got another story from this same guy. Hold on. A sex offender living with his parents in the Villages will spend Christmas behind bars after he was caught with ammunition in violation of his probation. I know this news here is a little late, but I just thought it was important. Daniel Joseph Hansen, 34, who lives at 2151 Cayley Drive in the village of Ashland, was transferred Monday to the Marion County Jail where he is being held without bond. He had been picked up this past week by Sumter County Sheriff's deputies on a warrant charging him with a probation violation. The warrant was issued after the probation officer paid a visit December to Hansen's home and found 10 rounds of blackout rifle ammunition encased in a functioning rifle magazine, according to a probation violation report. Earlier this year, Hansen, who also goes by the alias of Daniel Joseph Hansex, had been placed on probation for 5 years. So he gets caught once, gets arrested, goes to jail, gets out of jail, probably bonds out. Mom and dad probably bonded him out. They say, here, come live with us. Be a good boy. Bullets and stuff in his room that I'm sure mom and dad's going to say they didn't know nothing about that. And caught again. Doo-dah, doo-dah. A 59-year-old resident of the Villages was struck and killed when he was walking across U.S. Highway 301. The man left a bar at about 10:45 p.m. Friday and was walking across 301 approaching Southeast Highway 42 when he walked into the path of a sport utility vehicle, according to the accident from the Florida Highway Patrol. The 50-year-old Ocala man driving the SUV was unable to observe the pedestrian crossing the roadway, and the front end of the SUV hit the resident of the Villages, the report said. The crash remains under investigation. Christmas has brought some good cheer to those who had begun to doubt Costco's commitment to the Villages. The Villages Vice President of Commercial Development, Scott Rennick, confirmed in Friday's edition of the Villages Daily Sun that Costco has officially signed off on its new location at Buffalo Ridge Plaza. Costco will build a 162,000 square foot warehouse-style store, will sell gasoline, and offer a liquor store. Well, we need more of that. The store will have 700 parking spots. The news comes as many of the villages were beginning to doubt that Costco was actually coming to
Florida's friendliest hometown.
News of Costco's arrival broke in April and set off a wave of euphoria for those residents who desperately wanted to see another giant store. It doesn't say that. I just embellished that. However, months of the silence on the deal began to fuel doubts about whether Costco was coming to the villages. Ed Rockstraw of the village of Winifred, he wrote a letter to the editor in November and sought proof that Costco would be breaking ground here. Are you ready for a Costco? Are you a Costco fan? Would you like to see the Costco store built? Let me know in the comments below. I'd be curious to know how many people actually care if they get a Costco or not. Because to be honest with you, you've heard me on Porch Sutton, I could care less. An unlicensed driver from Mexico was arrested at a local Wawa. Inicio Farias Aguirre, I'll put the name in the picture, 46 of Summerfield, was driving a silver Toyota Tacoma at 7 p.m. Monday on County Road 466 when he disobeyed a red light at US 301, according to the arrest report from the Sumter County Police Department. A traffic stop was initiated at a nearby Wawa, where Aguirre presented a deputy with a Mexican identification card and an expired Mexican driver's license. The deputy confirmed that Aguirre does not have a driver's license issued in the United States. He was arrested on a charge of driving without a license. He was also ticketed on a charge of running a red light. He was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on a $500 bond. Here's a quick update on the couple that were rescued from the house that caught on fire. A woman critically injured in a house fire in the village has died on Christmas Day. Bridget Brown Fleetwood died as a result of the house fire, which erupted Monday afternoon at 2328 Due West Drive in the village of Lynn Haven. The village's public safety department responded quickly to the scene, and Fleetwood was transported by ambulance to a local hospital where she died from injuries suffered in the fire, which is under investigation by the state fire marshals. She had been in a relationship with Lloyd Relic, who lived in the home with her. Her Facebook page indicated she had attended college in California. Wow, what a shame. What a horrific shame. Christmas Day. You realize the significance of that, Christmas Day. That means her family, her children, her grandchildren, every time Christmas comes around, this is what they're going to remember. It ruins it for everybody. Too bad. An arraignment has been delayed for a former golfer staffer in the village charged with seeking sex with a 14-year-old girl. David Carberry, 71, who previously worked as the golf staff lead at the Benefit Championship Golf Course, had been due Thursday in a Marion County court to answer charges that he attempted to arrange for sex with a girl. His arraignment was pushed back to January 14. The Village of Tamarind Grove resident has pleaded not guilty in the case. He was taken into custody on November the 4th. Camberry got in touch with the stepfather in August through the Skip the Games website. Never heard of it. An Ocala Police Department officer was posing as the girl's stepfather. Camberry remains free on bond. He is being represented by criminal defense attorney Eric Evelsizer of Inverness. Carberry began working at Bonifay in June. He previously worked at Evans Prairie and Cane Garden. He is no longer employed by the village's district government. A convicted Ohio rapist has taken up temporary residence in the villages. Ronald Allen Woods, 63 of Niles, Ohio, registered an address on Thursday at 538 Inner Circle in the village of Amelia, according to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. He was convicted of rape in 2014 in Warren County, Ohio. Here's another update, really. Some young kid on the historical side, which has been a problem for a long time. A young resident of the villages charged with repeatedly damaging a gate which provides access for golf carts is due back in court next week. John David Newell, 26, who resides at 1701 Hilton Head Boulevard on the historic side of the villages, has been charged with damaging the gate at 1157 Paradise Drive. He is free on bond and is due back in Lake County Court on January 6th. The unique golf cart only gate has a card reader that was put in after the legendary 2013 battle in which the developer tried to wall off the villages from outside access. Newell was caught on video on October 6 punching the camera and access card reader, breaking it free from its mount and causing it to fall to the ground, according to the arrest report from Lady Lake Police Department. Newell returned to the gate on October 14th and 27th and forced the gate open, causing damage to the hydraulic arm on both occasions. The damage was estimated at $400. The Massachusetts native is facing a charge of criminal mischief. Newell has long a history of arrests in
Florida's friendliest hometown.
In 2022, Newell was arrested after arguing with his grandmother over the care of his daughter. Newell reportedly grabbed his grandmother by her arms, leaving behind bruises. I'm not going to read any more of that because you guys have heard the report before. This is just an update on that report. I don't know where he's at or where he's staying, but if he's staying with Grandma, here's a hint. Grandma, throw him out. Just throw him out. This is a retirement place. We don't need that here. Here's another story from this guy that's had trouble around here many times. He's caused so much trouble. Good Lord, if you see this guy's picture or name on anything for rent around here and you're not from here, this is a warning to you. A landlord from the Villages was arrested after allegedly setting his tenant's couch on fire during an unlawful eviction. Yosef El Masri, 84, who owns a home in Villa Vera Cruz in the village of Santo Domingo, is facing a felony charge of burglary following his arrest this past week by the Fruitland Park Police Department. By the way, I want to say hi to the Fruitland Park Police Department. I did a ride along with them a few months ago. There's a video on it. And even though there wasn't much going on that night, I do appreciate their time and efforts for letting me do that. El Masri, who previously has been accused of keeping trashy rental property in the Villages, allegedly went December 21 to his rental property on East Leah Court in Fruitland Park with a handyman and a removal crew, according to the arrest report. While they were on the property, El Masri's female tenant arrived home and found her couch in a burn pit in the backyard. She called law enforcement. This ain't in the Villages at all. But Fruitland Park's next door. And part of the Villages is in Fruitland Park. El Masri told police officers he had verbally told the woman he would be arriving at her home to remove her belongings. The native of Egypt claimed his tenant had not paid rent since September. El Masri claims she owed him $6,000. However, in a counterclaim previously filed in Lake County Court, the woman had provided receipts proving her rent had been paid. She also said that there was no verbal agreement for El Masri to come to her home to evict her. The handyman told police that El Masri had burnt the woman's furniture in the backyard. Police saw metal frames from the furniture in the backyard burn pit. El Masri has had a troubled history as a landlord. In 2022, tenants in the Villages claimed in court documents that El Masri cut off their water and sabotaged the air conditioning system in their rented villa. They must have a whole different set of rules in Egypt. In 2020, neighbors went before the Community Development District 2 Board of Supervisors to complain about El Masri's trashy rental unit in Villa Vera Cruz. El Masri was also previously caught up in an insurance fraud case. I remember that. I reported that. So this guy's he's a real piece of work. You hear that name, El Masri? It's for rent. And no matter how nice he is on the phone, if you call him or whatever, run. Just run. Here's an update of the Spruce Creeker that had an argument with his girlfriend, I don't know, a couple months ago maybe. A Spruce Creeker had been sentenced as the result of a rampage ignited by drinking at the town square in the Villages. Alan James Deason Jr., 57, who lives at Spruce Creek Golf and Country Club in Summerfield, entered a plea of no contest December 16th to a charge of resisting arrest. He was sentenced to 1 day already served in the Lake County Jail in order to pay $630 in fines and court costs. Deason was arrested August 30th at the Comfort Inn and Suites after an attack on a woman with whom he has been involved into an intimate relationship for about 3 years, according to the arrest report from the Lady Lake Police Department. Officers responded to the hotel after an employee contacted law enforcement as the result of an altercation between Deason and his girlfriend. Deason, who has scratch marks on his chest, was belligerent and defensive when questioned. He balled up his fist and was aggressive towards an officer, but was quickly handcuffed. The girlfriend told police that Deason had been consuming alcohol at Spanish Springs Town Square. When they returned to the hotel, they got into an argument. Alan threw a drink across the room and ripped a light fixture off the wall. He grabbed his girlfriend by the bridge of her nose, causing her to have trouble breathing. She retaliated by scratching his chest. Up to this point, I believe everything she's saying. It just makes sense. He grabbed her head and began striking it against the wall. He had also faced charges of domestic aggravated battery and disorderly conduct, but they have been dismissed. I don't understand that. Why? Did she refuse to charge him? I don't understand that at all. Could have been a plea deal, which, by the way, I am not a fan of plea deals either. Here's a little good news for you tonight. Vicki Lawrence will bring stand-up comedy and Mama to the Sharon L. Morris Performing Arts Center. The show is set for 7 p.m. Friday, January 31. Tickets on sale now and can be purchased online at thesharon.com, in person at the box office, or by calling box office 352-753-3229. She has previously performed in the Villages and brought down the house. The Emmy Award-winning comedian Vicki Lawrence is one of the most beloved television personalities of her generation. Plucked out of total obscurity as a high school senior, Vicki went on to become part of the now legendary cast of The Carol Burnett Show. In the 7th season and hundreds of hilarious sketches later, at the ripe old age of 24, Vicki created her most endearing character to date, Thelma Harper, or Mama, as she is better known to her fans. After the Burnett Show, Vicki went on to star in Mama's Family, which consistently topped the ratings for its entire 6-year run of original shows. Mama has attained almost a cult status among her legions of loyal television viewers, and who will still enjoy her in reruns twice daily throughout most of the country and the world. Vicki will take the stage first. My show is not a retrospective, she explains. The show is a mixture of stand-up comedy, music, and my observations about real life. The multi-talented entertainer is mostly known for her acting and comedic talents, but she has also earned a gold record for the 1993 hit, The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia. I think the people will get a kick out of what Mama has an opinion about. We're creating new material with a more modern and cutting edge. Where Mama is concerned, expect the unexpected. I could say that about my show on the porch setting. Expect the unexpected. There's really nothing she can't do, she says. I hope people will be pleasantly surprised by a side of Vicki they have never seen before. I know they'll be looking forward to Mama. And for her part, that crazy old gal will be up to the challenge. Okay, how about a couple of letters to the editor? See what other people are talking about. To the editor, just another sell of one of our restaurants to either FMK or Selmans. Why can't we get some variety and ownership and some improvement in food quality and pricing? Everything is being offered somewhat the same, and we don't have much choice with regard to food and pricing. That's sent in by Richard Brady, Village of Winifred. Well, there's no need for me to remark to anything about that. You do know what I think about it. To the editor, this person who charged their car off the power at Savannah Center should be arrested for theft. We aren't going to pay for EVs to charge up off our rec center power. That's sent in by Bill Bess from the Village of Hillsboro. Yeah, I've noticed that. There's been 2 or 3 of them that's been reported. I've got a couple of them on my next coming bad parking where EVs are going up to the adult pools, and that's usually where the postal station is, and there's a couple outside plugs at these postal stations. I'm not sure what they're for, really, but they bring a cord up with them, and while they're at the pool, they're charging up their EVs on electric power that I think residents are paying for, or maybe not. Maybe the postal station people, the government's paying for. I don't know, but it doesn't look right to me either. To the editor, why do we have to pay for the bridge when it's only advertising for the villages paid for by residents? That's sent in by Daniel Brett from the Village of Tierra del Sol North. Well, Brett or Daniel, that's been going on for years, advertising all the stuff that we're paying for, the upkeeps, the electric form, all the bridges south of 466A down here, they're lighted over the highways with the villages on it. They brought that up years ago about why are we paying for the electricity to advertise for the developer. I don't get into all that politics and everything, but I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the legal issue there. Something tells me that we've signed an agreement. Somewhere along the line, our representatives, our district area, Wildwood Commission agreed to it. I'm not sure, but somewhere there's an agreement that declares everything as being infrastructure. That's what the bond takes care of, right? The infrastructure. or what's considered to be an amenity. I'm not sure who decides what's an amenity, but it's been a complaint for a long, long time. There, for the longest time, people said that the squares was an amenity, and they didn't want outsiders coming down here because as an amenity, we're paying for that, and we're not allowed, you can't even get in there to sit down. They're just full all the time. Well, I knew that was not true, but I didn't say anything about it because they just argue is all they do, but that's not an amenity. The squares are privately owned. The developer's company owns each and every square, and it's private property, and he opens it up for residents. The businesses at every square, up and down the town, like the town of Wildwood, all them businesses down there pays a monthly fee for the entertainment on that square that everybody gets to enjoy for free. They're paying for it. We do not. To the editor, aren't amenity fees for things like flower bed maintenance, lawn care, etc.? If a structure is now an amenity, then the residents will be driven out of the villages by astronomically high amenity fees. And if the Sumter Dock area and the maintenance equipment shed are considered under the amenity fee umbrella, that opens the gate wide for fencing on the historic side and the making of Morse Boulevard north of County Road 466 the same as the rest of the boulevards in the villages, i.e. no golf carts on the boulevard itself and expanding to 4 lanes. In my mind, the developer did not consider the ramifications of increasing the residential population and did not take the action necessary to keep safe and maintain those various infrastructures. That's sent in by Marion Godin, Village of Springdale. Thank you, Mary. We know the difference, don't we, between what it once was, what it is, and where it's going. I don't know. Are we too old to worry about it? I don't know. But good point. I appreciate your letter. I truly do. Okay, with that being said, I just want to say that this news, like every other news, is dedicated to all my Patreon members and my YouTube members. I appreciate you guys for supporting our efforts here. It's a lot of work. We appreciate it. More than you guys will ever know. I don't think I deserve any of your support. I truly don't. But I am truly glad and appreciative to have it. If you ever thought about being a Patreon member, do it. You can join for as little as $2 a month. It goes 2, 5, 10, 15, and 25. And I think the 25 might be full, or maybe there's room for one more. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's there. So sign up for your Patreon. And when you do that, I will send you an invitation to our private Discord, and you'll receive your Discord link. We share pictures, what we're doing. We've helped people, like during the hurricane, they were here, they were up north, and they get a hold of somebody on our Discord or our Patreon page. If anybody can go over and put furniture away that's on the patio maybe, so the hurricane doesn't blow them away, that kind of stuff. We've also had people recently had I will say it's just almost a once-in-a-lifetime deal on a practically brand new golf cart. And we put the information on our Discord, and within a matter of hours, it's sold. It's gone. And we've also sold, we put some rental property on there. People wanting to buy homes and things here, they ask questions. Just all kinds of stuff goes on Discord, and we help out quite a bit. And I'm glad to do it. If you do join our Patreon page, the one thing that I will promise you is that everything I do put on Patreon is commercial free. I don't need a commercial because I have your income. You're paying the $2 a month. I'm not going to put commercials on there. Someday that may change. I don't know. But as of right now, it hasn't changed for years. That's the way it's been. So with that, I'm going to get out of here and just say I hope you all had a great holiday. Now we got a new year. Now it's time to start getting things in order, isn't it? We're going to be doing a road trip in the RV. And so if you follow our RV channel, and if you don't, it's in the description box below, Skip and Sue's RV Thing on YouTube. So with that said, I'm just going to say, be well, stay safe, stay aware, stay healthy.
And don't leave that key in the golf cart.
This week's news is brought to you by my YouTube and Patreon members.